It is said that right now we're living in tiempo de no tiempo. It is time of no time. Time is dissolving. If you're aware that the day goes by faster, can't seem to get things completed in a day, you're more nervous, you feel the frequencies, so everything is speeding up. And there'll come a point when that will stop, when we reach that balance. So it's time of no time. There is a pyramid in the Yucatan called Mayopan. It is a pyramid site that doesn't get a lot of exposure, but it is very sacred to the indigenous nations. And in this pyramid, it's a very small pyramid, and it's in Chichen Itza, on the site of Chichen Itza. And a lot of sacred work gets done there. This is imprinted on the wall like these angels are, okay? So here is, I'm not a very good drawer, I'm not an artist. So on the wall what you have is, this is man, okay? And then on the wall you have a hole, okay? That's what you have. You have a hole in the wall that is like hollow and empty. On one side you have the eagle, and on the other side you have the condor. And in this prophecy that's in Mayopan, in the Mayan nations, it says that this prophecy will not be fulfilled where the eagle and the condor meet till this hollow space is filled. Okay? So if we go down here, the Mayans believe that we're going into the fifth sun right now. We're going into the sixth sun. And they call them Ahau. The world age is Ahau. And they believe that we've already been through four. And I wanted to kind of show you very quick the way they have broken them down. The first world age that we've all been through was fire, and it was feminine. The second one was earth, and it was masculine. The third was air, and it was feminine. The one that we're presently living right now is water, and it's masculine. So you can see why we're coming to the end of the patriarch of the masculine, and we're moving to the fifth. It's going to be what they call ether, which is energy. So in essence, these elements will not have much importance anymore because we're moving to a new format, and it'll be energy. And there's a lot more energy healers out there.
In the early days, of course, I was one of the first acupuncturists in Australia. And in those days we did have trouble because, you know, the doctors would say, well, we've opened people up and we can't see meridians. But of course they've opened people up and they can't see thoughts either, and they can't see emotions, but we know they exist. And in those days, even things like acupuncture and energy medicine was frowned on. But what of course has happened now is that there's been a dramatic change in the last 5 to 10 years, because now there's equipment, scientific equipment that can actually measure these things. They can actually photograph the meridians. They can photograph the energy fields at core level. And so the world has changed.
You know, I'm seeing it more and more and more that people are working with that. And in terms of this fifth sun that is coming, it's going to be masculine and feminine. Okay, so that's the difference. And it's going to be a world age of higher consciousness and the balance of the light and the dark. So it won't be a world of duality of light and dark. It is also said, as we're moving from the world of duality, that it's going to be a little bit of a hard for a lot of us because it is said that we are actually wired. We're wired for duality. And that's why, you know, we can't hold the light for hours, or so that's going to be a lot of the rearranging is to move us to a balance to where we can hold the light, hold it. So don't be so hard on yourselves. I tell people that are doing spiritual work and can't hold that illumination or that light, because it is a process and we are wired like that, whether you want to or not. In prophecies have 3 stages to them, and these 3 stages have happened every world age. Okay, so when a world age comes about, there is a world remaking. Okay, so there's always a remaking of a world, And then what happens is that they recenter the world. Okay, and recentering is movement. And then there's the renewal. And this has happened every time. And that's why I say if you really study these concepts, you really pretty much know what is coming for us in many ways. And the Mayan prophecy speaks to the feminine. In order to understand the prophecies, you need to pull out of linear time. And you need to understand galactic time, universal time, because the universe has time too. In terms of the universe, a galactic day is 25,625 days. And that's what we're coming to the end of. And the universe also is broken into time periods. We've gone through 4 world ages, okay? And we're in the 5th world age right now. We're right here in the 5th. Each world age, too, can be broken down into 5,125 years. Even galactic time can be broken down into day and night. And a day is 12,800 days. A night is 1,200 days. So also in terms of universal time, it also breaks down into the day, the morning, the afternoon, and noche. Right now, in terms of galactic time, we're in the noche, okay? And we're getting ready to wake up. So this is where we are right now. We're right here in the night. We entered the morning in 1999, and it is said that 2012, we're gonna be about 1/4 into the morning, which if we think in terms of the way we think of time, it's about 4 o'clock in the morning. So this is what is going to happen December 21st, 2012. So here we have the Milky Way. The sun has been in procession around the Earth and the constellations for 26,000 years. So it's coming to the end of its travels. And like I told you, the sun entered the tip of the Milky Way in 1999. In about 2000, it entered the underworld. And right now we're about 3/4 through the underworld. 2012 will be December sun solstice will be right in the middle of the Milky Way. And it is said that we do have opportunity if we don't get it right 2012 because the sun will still be traveling through the other side of the Milky Way. And it is said that we do have that period of time right there on the other side of the Milky Way. And I think it's 2025 when it finally pops out of the Milky Way. In 1999, there was a very important eclipse that happened, and the media did not cover it very well. It was like a key point for humanity to know. And it happened August 11th, and this was the formation in the sky that happened. And this led us right into the journey into the Milky Way. But the 7 Mayan prophecies that you hear about, the first one is fear. That as we move closer to 2012, that fear is going to escalate. But it'll also be projected a lot from outside sources. And we see it through the media. That's a perfect example. Fear is escalating in many different forms. When I do healing on people, I work with pulses. And the first thing that I go to is the pulses because the pulses automatically tell me the fear. And that's, to me, that's the basis of when I work with people is fear. The second prophecy talks about that many psychological changes will come about in men. And in terms of psychological changes is more anxiety, more stress. There's more mental illness than ever. There's more addictions than ever. Young people are more addicted than ever. People are taking more over-the-counter prescriptions, drugs for depression. A lot of psychological change that is really out of balance. The third one is the environment, and I don't think I need to really talk about that because we know what is happening with the environment. The fourth one talks about climatic changes that are coming, and I don't need to talk about that either. Number 5 is increased solar flaring. I'm kind of different, a very different type of indigenous woman. My friends laugh at me a lot because I have friends that work for NASA, and I follow the solar flaring of NASA. And it's interesting that it is increasing, the solar flaring. And here in San Miguel, About 2 years ago, the solar flaring was so intense, and it was May. May is the hottest month for us here, that all the machines shut down for about 3 hours. The ATMs went down, all the computers went down, everything went down, and people panicked. So to me, it kind of gave me a little bit of a taste that if we do it at a bigger level, can you imagine? And then it took the banks about 2 days to get things straightened out, and we could not get money out. It is also said in the Mayan prophecies that there is a red comet coming. Red, I asked people about it. It could be red nuclear war. We don't know. You know, red is nuclear. Or it could be a red comet. Comets that are in the sky, what they mean, it means change. There's a change coming. When Guadalupe appeared, the Helix comet appeared. The elders talk about that if it's a comet, that it's going to really impact the Earth. And if you've read that we've had very near collisions, very near collisions. To me, the last prophecy is my favorite, and it's the hope prophecy. And that moves us to a new era, to where we will move to the balance that I'm talking about, higher frequency of spirituality. We'll be working more with energy, more in unity with brothers and sisters. Boundaries will dissolve. I won't be brown, you won't be white. And this is where the indigo children come into, a new breed of children coming in.